Hello everyone, welcome to the talk on conference publicity with a focus on boosting attendance at a conference and also improving industry participation. My name is Saurabh Sinha. In my daily life, I serve as an associate professor and director of a Microelectronics Institute at the University of Pretoria in South Africa. My role, perhaps more relevant to this talk, is my service to IEEE Region 8 as Vice Chair for Technical Activities. Conferences are special to IEEE. After all, IEEE takes its origin from a conference or an event. Some of you will recognize the image from an exhibition which called for gathering financial resources for showing off electrical technology. For instance, electricity in 1884. You may not recall being at this first event, though. While once upon a time, one could coerce individuals to attend for the greater good, such is no longer the case today. Let me read to you a first call for participation from the late 1800s. There is no legitimate excuse for this implied absence of scientific interest, except that it would be the short-sighted plea that everyone is too busy to give time to scientific, practical and social intercourse, which in other professions have been found so conducive to advancement. Today, our audience will do a cost-benefit analysis before attending an event. The event must resonate with their key areas of interest, particularly if they are in industry professionals. This also calls for a different approach in publicity, where I'll focus on participation from industry. A special relationship exists between academia and industry. I once worked in an industry where the way to perish was to publish. Where in academia, where I work today, the slogan is publish or perish. Academia is, however, always looking to be more relevant to industry, and industry could benefit from the partnership. Establishing such a relationship through an IEEE conference could be one way to foster this relationship. This also calls for developing a relationship that starts ahead of the conference and continues beyond a conference event. In this way, supporting future events as well. It could also be a way to establish an advisory committee for the conference, supported by members of industry, but partly overlapping with the advisory board of various academic departments involved in a conference. Many conferences are led by academics. This could be as they have more flexibility and academic freedom. The environment calls for learning, and a conference supports such. In industry, the call of the client tends to be more important, but in today's competitive times, there's a will for innovation and developing a strength in certain key areas of technology for a company. Such could be an incentive for a company to partake at a conference, but also to learn more about future technical directions and to debate key technology trends. Some ways to engage the industry could be by arranging an industry track where perhaps only abstracts are adequate for invitation to a presentation. Folks in industry may not have the same desire as publishing to IEEE Explore and may not have the time to prioritize this. This may be particularly true for small, medium and micro enterprises or SMMEs. Marketing a call for papers with this option could help to attract papers or presentations rather from industry, but some abstracts could also lead to an early identification of a keynote speaker or two. As participants from industry, may only present their peer-reviewed abstracts, one could advertise such papers in advance. This could allow or encourage the participation of others, but also to develop full papers. The Industry Advisory Board I have already discussed. The Advisory Board could also be part of the conference's steering committee. An exhibition may be another way to complement the academic level of works generally present at our conferences. By providing for continuing education units or professional development hours, PDHs, we may be able to encourage attendance, at times involving equipment manufacturers and discussing measurement capabilities. Best practices could also be of interest and an area for continuing professional development. Standards are of interest to industrial professionals. A session on demystifying standards, but perhaps also holding debates on standards, both their pros and cons, could stimulate a thought-provoking session which could be enjoyed by all. Some more strategies could include arranging a pre-conference breakfast for key persons in government, policymakers and industrial professionals. At times, such could help for attracting sponsors as well. Arranging a good conference requires thorough but in advance planning. Such planning could be coupled with a company's own financial planning and ahead of a budget cycle, thereby improving the chances of a sponsorship. The sponsorship brochure could be a combination of the usual social corporate responsibility component, but also how a company's technical achievements can be represented or the themes of a conference be aligned. Exchanging a conference sponsorship by providing the registration list is not encouraged unless, of course, we ask our registered delegate if it's okay to share their details. Perhaps this helps for a focused audience too. The conference destination matters. Attractive locations help to get the audience there, but it's hard to retain them at the conference. How about a conference on a cruise? Some conference announcements could be promoted together with regular product brochures. It could help to attract exhibitors. The approach for SMMEs and large corporates can differ. Large corporates may be more interested in having the employees attain CEUs or PDHs and perhaps also supported through tax benefits. Smaller companies may be interested in developing their innovation by learning more and better positioning themselves in view of the latest and best shared at a conference. Understanding the audience makes a difference. For example, what attracts younger professionals may be not what attracts an older audience. Younger professionals may prefer a more interactive experience, cutting edge at its best, from mobile publicity to participation, but also one allowing for networking with the right people and career building opportunities. Here's a list of do nots. I won't read it all here, but one you may want to take note is that too many pre-event emails can be a way to effectively lose the audience. On this slide, we emphasize that one of the best ways of marketing is by using your fans. Folks trust who they know, and this trend continues. It's illustrated in the image here, and therefore amplifying a message through a fan can be much more effective than sending repeated emails. A large conference with several tracks can be an ineffective usage of time for some, and thus a back-to-back approach could also work. It could also be the way for emerging conferences or for narrow areas of research. Piggybacking. Destinations which are easy to get to could help. Reciprocity agreements with media, for instance, trading off a free registration, and in this way gain some publicity for call for papers. What about post-conference reporting? Social media such as LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, including Android applications with ease of association with calendars, could help to streamline audience participation, but also ensure the right person is around at the right time and can thus make the best connections. With these words or tips from our conferences in Region 8, I hope you've been able to learn more, and I wish you the best for your next event. Thank you for volunteering.